Welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K23 Next Gen. Today's video, you guys have been asking for the challenges, and today we're going to continue to do them. Today we have the No Trade Finder challenge. So this one really is as simple as it sounds. Obviously this is a normal rebuild. We're going to do this in a fantasy draft style where the CPU drafts my entire team. And then at no point throughout this video may I use the Trade Finder. Now, it's probably about 60% of the time I would say I use the Trade Finder to find my trades. Some of the bigger moves I make, I do those manually, but when I'm trying to just dump a player for a pick, it's almost every single time I use the Trade Finder. So this one's definitely hard, with the end goal of this one today obviously being getting a championship. This is one I do every single year, and it's one you guys seem to love, so I really do appreciate all the comments you guys have been giving me. This was a suggestion a couple videos ago, and that's why we are here doing it today. So, as always, you guys have any other suggestions, let me know those down below in the comments section. If you guys are new around here, could subscribe to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated, and that's pretty much it for this one, man. This is a fun challenge. It's one I've done pretty well in, I think, in the past, and hopefully we can continue to that today. Let's hop into it. So as I mentioned, we're going to be doing a fantasy draft. We're going to let the CPU draft the entire team for me. So as you can see, we are in the preloading menu, whatever the hell you want to call it. And we will scroll through this and randomly accept the team while my eyes are closed so you guys know I'm not cheating. And we will stop right now. We end up with the Washington Wizards. Funny enough, I just did a Wizards rebuild yesterday, but we're going to select the Wizards. We are going to simulate this entire draft, and I'll see you guys with this team. And here's a look at how the CPU did for us and the squad that they ended up drafting for us. We have James Harden on this team, obviously 90 overall. Is not the MVP caliber player that he used to be, but is still an unbelievable talent in this league. Somebody I believe is becoming a bit underrated at this point. We have Kristaps Porzingis, who we actually had, funny enough, in our Wizards rebuild yesterday. Still here in DC, we have Jonas Valanciunas, Kevin Huerter, Harrison Barnes, Gary Trent Jr., Josh Hart, Dwayne Dedmon, Caleb Martin. Jalen Williams is here. I would have maybe preferred the other Jalen Williams, but this one is still 75 overall, only at 22 years old, so I'll definitely take that. Gary Harris, Ayo Dosunmu, Aaron Holiday, Jake LaRavia. So it is an interesting squad. There's a couple younger pieces here that I don't mind too much. The majority of the core of this team is not that young, however, which is something that maybe me and the CPU differ a little bit on. When I do these fantasy drafts, I try to draft a lot of young players because they're cheap, because they progress well. That's just me. But we do have a pretty decent squad. We are probably going to make at least 1 or 2 trades before the year starts. So, yeah, man, let's just get into some of those. We're going to try to get Michael Porter Jr. here from the Portland Trailblazers. He's still a young piece. He's a good three-point shooter, and sometimes he progresses pretty well. Now, he doesn't progress as well as he did in some older 2Ks, but he's still a really decent option, and we're getting younger and overall better at the small forward spot. So, I'm going to offer up Harrison Barnes and Gary Harris. I didn't think that was necessarily going to go through. How about if I include Aaron Holiday? Yeah, it's just too many players on the team. How about if you take Dwayne Dedmon and you give me like your lowest rated player, which is Frank Ntilikina, who still is a star and a half for God knows what reason. Well, he's a decent defender. How about if I just include seconds? I remember to turn off previously traded draft picks, so we're good there. I'd actually probably give up a first in 2027. And then how about one other second round draft pick? Possible? Wow, they agree to that. All right, we acquire Michael Porter Jr. It's a decent option at our small forward spot. Obviously, I think of him more as a long-term option than I do somebody like a Harrison Barnes. So that's a pretty good first trade in my opinion. We might try to make a couple other trades and maybe get rid of some of these players that really won't play. Maybe get some draft picks. That's obviously a lot harder without a trade finder, but let's see what we can find. We were offering Dwayne Dedmon to the Philadelphia 76ers. This is like the third team I've tried to trade him to for a draft pick, and hopefully this is the one that will take him. So you want him, counter offer. My lottery protected first in 2025. You'll give me 2 unprotected picks. Now, the Sixers are going to be a good team. They have Giannis. In my opinion, he's the best player in the league. And these picks aren't going to be necessarily valuable, but at the end of the day, it's still first. And I know we'll be a good team by that point. And the reason I'm moving on from Dwayne Dedmon is because I want to get Jalen Williams some playing time in hopes he becomes a serviceable backup big man on this team. I don't think it's worth it to spend 8.5 minutes trying to trade like Jake LaRavia. I can try trading Aaron Holiday. I just think this is ultimately going to take way too long because that's what's been happening when I've been trying to trade these picks, which does make sense considering, you know, I don't have a trade finder, unfortunately. Like, how about a 2025 first? Will you do that? Nope. See, it's just the problem with it. I mean, you got to get a first somewhere. And I've been trying a lot of these places, but Aaron Holiday's only 1 star. It's not happening. Let's set the rotation. It is now officially the start of our first year here in DC. We only really ended up making one major trade. That was the acquisition of Michael Porter Jr. Really hoping he can be a good piece for us, shoot the three-point ball really well, and maybe develop into a decently high 80 overall player. That would be nice. We have James Harden, Gary Trent Jr., MPJ, Kristaps Porzingis, and Jonas Valanciunas here as our starting 5. It's not a terrible starting 5. Bench unit, we're moving Kevin Huerter to the bench. The game actually wants to start him over Gary Trent Jr. I prefer Gary Trent Jr. a little bit here in 2K anyways. Off the bench, Josh Hart, Caleb Martin, Jalen Williams, and then Io is also going to be getting 10 minutes a night as our 10th and final man in this rotation. I like the team. I don't know really what our ceiling is. It's always interesting in these fantasy drafts because obviously everything is supposed to spread out a little bit, but really never feels like that's the way it kind of goes. So I could see us anywhere from a 1 seed to a 7 seed. I have no idea. I'll see you guys at the end of year 1. Year 1 is over, and Jason Tatum is your MVP. Almost 40 points a game out of JT, almost 10 boards, 4.5 assists. Very impressive season from the superstar over there in Utah. Now that makes me want to throw up. Paolo Banchero, Rookie of the Year in Toronto. Markelle Fultz, Sixth Man of the Year. Anthony Davis, Defensive Player of the Year. Cade Cunningham, Most Improved. Quinn Snyder wins Coach of the Year. So, I didn't see our record, to be completely honest with you. We ended up going 45 and 37, so we are a 5 seed. I know I said I could see us anywhere from a 1 to a 7 seed, and 5 is decently in the middle of that. So 45 wins is not a terrible start, especially considering we have not made very many moves with this team. It is James Harden, Kristaps Porzingis, Michael Porter Jr. as our 3 leading scorers, followed by Jonas Valanciunas. Actually, a pretty good year. Gary Trent Jr., Josh Hart, Kevin Huerter, Caleb Martin, Jalen Williams, Io. I mean, I think this team is decent enough to make a pretty long playoff run. I mean, we'll see. Time will tell. We have the Celtics here in round 1. Obviously, teams are looking a lot different. They have CJ McCollum, Shaedon Sharpe, Jimmy Buckets here, Pascal Siakam, Clint Capella. It's actually a really good 4 seed right there, and it actually makes me a little bit nervous. So we're 1-1 with them. We go up 2-1, up 3-1, and okay, don't blow a 3-1 lead. We're going on to the second round, Eastern Conference semifinals here with the Atlanta Hawks, who have Spencer Dinwiddie, Desmond Bane, Kawhi Leonard, Aaron Gordon, and Naz Reid. Kawhi. Playoff Kawhi, man. I think this team's beatable. I do. I really do. We're 2-2 with them right now. We go up 3-2, and we're in the Eastern Conference Finals. We are taking on the Toronto Raptors, who have Terrence Mann, Jaylen Brown, Bojan Bogdanovic, Paolo Banchero, Jalen Duren. Again, good team. I kind of like ours a little bit better, to be completely honest with you. So we'll see what ends up happening here. We are down 2-1 at the moment. We're tied up 2-2. We go down 3-2. We're going to Game 7, and we are in the finals in year 1. And we're taking on Jason Tatum, who just won an MVP, and the rest of the Utah Jazz. James Harden won an Eastern Conference Finals MVP here for us. CP 0 rings, Dyson Daniels, Jason Tatum. They have Melo here. Okay, do you just have a bunch of Celtics on this team? Okay, interesting. Blake, there's a lot of Celtics on this team. I don't know. Something about Chris Paul and Carmelo Anthony and the thought of those two getting a ring makes me feel confident that the fact that I can win this, but I don't really know. We'll see what ends up happening. We are down 2-1 at the moment. We go down 3-1, and that's all she wrote. Jason, Jesus fucking Christ. Where's that play been at lately, Jason? We could... we could use some of that right now in Boston. I would appreciate it. Nonetheless, though, Jazz go on to win in 5. But, hey, we make it to a finals in year 1 out of 3 when we were won a 5 seed, won 45 games, and barely made any moves with this team. So I'm feeling pretty good right now. We're obviously going to go into the draft lottery where we don't have a draft pick. I'll leave that Philadelphia pick. I believe it was protected of some sort. So probably won't turn into anything. I don't see Wiz. Oh, shit. It turned into number 4? That team had Giannis on it. Huh. Well, you know what? I'll take it. To be honest with you, we had Wes Unseld Jr. I don't think he's a great head coach. It'd be cool to get Spo. I don't think I'm going to get Eric Spoelstra. Yeah, it's annoying. Like, I get why, like, Spoelstra would want to go back to the Heat. Like, he's been there forever, and, I get it. But, like, you can't sign really any coaches that are good in this. Like, you can't sign Popovich. You can't sign Spoelstra. You can't really sign any good coaches. You're left with all the auto-generated guys and then some of the not-so-great head coaches in this world, but just my opinion. All right, we have the 4th overall pick, which was a bit of a surprise to say the least. I really didn't think that 76ers pick, who did I trade them? Did I trade them like Dwayne Dedman or something? I don't even know who I traded them. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. Now we got to figure out if we want to draft somebody or if we want to go ahead and maybe include in a trade. Let's see. We're going to attempt to get Darius Garland here from the San Antonio Spurs. I don't necessarily know how I love the fit in the backcourt of him and James Harden, but we're going to give it a go. End of the day, it's 2K. It can probably work. So I'll give up the 4th overall pick. We're getting an established guy here that many of us have seen win an MVP here in these My League sims. So let's try to get Darius Garland. I didn't think they were going to take that straight up. Do I have any other players I'd merely... You can take Caleb Martin if you want him, and they agreed to that. All right, which means we're going to be moving James Harden back to the shooting guard spot. We obviously have to make sure he ends up coming back because he is a free agent right now. But that's obviously my number one priority of the offseason. I believe we also have, what was it, the 21st overall pick? I'm just going to Trade Finder to see the pick. It's the 21st overall selection. I'll draft somebody there. We could get a decent bench piece, whether it's, a backup power forward, new backup shooting guard we might even need. So we'll figure it out. Gregory Jackson. You know what? Why not? Need a backup power forward. The first guy I saw, Gregory Jackson. Welcome to the team. He's a 74 overall. It's honestly not terrible. Harden declines. Porzingis declines. Trent Jr. declines. We're going to bring back Josh Hart, definitely. I like Josh Hart a lot. And, yeah, man. So we have some pretty big free agents here heading into year one. I'll give Io the qualifying offer as well. And, yeah, let's take a look at free agency. I mean, the 2 out of the top 3 free agents are players on our team. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pay both of them. Holy shit, they want a lot of money. I got to make sure Porzingis doesn't go anywhere. Real offer from the Mavericks, real offer from the Clippers. I'm just going to max him out. Okay, maybe not max. What is that? 4 for 145. I hate math. 145 divided by 4. It's 36.25 a year. Yeah, you know what? I'll just pay him. At the end of the day, what's $2 million here? So we're going to get both these guys back. I want to make sure I get Gary Trent Jr. back as well. I'm hoping it lets me bring him back. If it doesn't, I'm going to be kind of upset, but we will see. It's like, are you going to let me bring him back? Well, that's with the cap space. If it's not going to let me do it without the cap space, I'm going to be a little annoyed, but let's just check now. I want to make sure I get those 2 back first and foremost. Okay, it's going to let me pay Gary Trent Jr. I don't know how the game decides somehow, like without bird rights, how I'm allowed to sign some players, and it's weird. Sometimes I can and sometimes I can't. I know, I'm sure it's some exclusion or something that I'm just missing out on, but new Call of Duty updated. Okay, let's go ahead and figure out what we want to do in terms of our backup point guard spot, because I don't mind the rest of how this team looks right now. I'm a little iffy on Valanciunas moving forward. I'm pretty comfortable everywhere else. Hopefully Harden doesn't regress too much. Sometimes he does, and we just gave him $263 million. That makes me a little nervous. But backup point guards, you know what? Give me Cameron Payne. Why not? Give him a mid-level. Oh, wait, no, we have Io. What the fuck am I doing? We have Io. I'll wait on him. Let me see if I can maybe find a trade for a new backup center. Excuse me, new starting center. There really wasn't any center trades that I was loving. I got offered Miles Turner. I definitely could have taken it, but it would have included me giving up Josh Hart, which I really didn't want to do. I like Josh Hart a lot. So we didn't end up making the deal. I'm going to wait on Io. He's going to go ahead, and he's going to be my backup point guard moving forward. And I'll see you guys at the start of year 2. It is the start of year 2 out of 3 for us here in Washington, D.C. We ultimately made the finals last year. Couldn't quite get over the hump. We added Darius Garland to this team. I think he's a huge upgrade in our backcourt. James Harden is regressing. He went from a 91 down to an 88. He is 34 years old, so I kind of get it, but he still averaged almost 24 points, 5 boards, and 13 assists, all while shooting almost 53% from the field, and almost a career high, it looks like, or actually a career high in three-point percentage. So it definitely makes me a little bit disappointed to see 2K doing stuff like that, but it's 2K at the end of the day. Other guys are going to have to step up. Michael Porter Jr., Kristaps Porzingis, and Jonas Valanciunas, who is regressing a little bit as well. It makes me a little nervous. We'll see. Gary Trent Jr., Josh Hart, Jalen Williams, Io, and then Gregory Jackson Jr. is going to be our bench unit. It's a decent bench. It's not the greatest bench in the world, but I like the starting 5. And I'll see you guys at the end of year 2. We close out year 2 with a record of 55-27. It's definitely not too bad, especially here in a fantasy draft. I'm hoping it was good enough for a top 2 spot in the Eastern Conference. Luka Doncic averages a triple-double and does win MVP. Victor Wembanyama went number 1 overall to the Clippers and wins Rookie of the Year. Cole Anthony, 6th Man of the Year. Miles Turner, Defensive Player of the Year. I almost traded for him, and I now wish I did. Patrick Williams, Most Improved, and Mike Stauffer does win Coach of the Year. All right, that's cool. Obviously, getting a Coach of the Year here in second season is great, but we want to go out and we want to win a championship. So we did have the best record in the league. As we all know, that means absolutely nothing come playoff time. Taking a look at the numbers, Darius Garland, James Harden, Kristaps Porzingis, all over 19 points a game. Michael Porter Jr. is pretty solid. Not a terrible year from Jonas Valanciunas. I'm going to be interested to see how much money he asks for this offseason, and then whether or not we do a sign and trade with him. It's TBD. Gary Trent Jr., Josh Hart, Gregory Jackson, Io, Jalen Williams. We take a look at the rebounds. Was led by Valanciunas, and assists was Darius Garland. It's beautiful having 2 guys that can rack up this many assists in your backcourt. It really is. Let's take a look at who we got here in round 1. It's going to be the Detroit Pistons. Tyrese Halliburton, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Wilson, John Collins, and Rudy Gobert. Have Brogdon off the bench. Wow. That's a talented playing team right there. Let me say that. It makes me a little bit nervous. But I like our team as we're up 3-1. We close them out in 5. Moving on to the 76ers. John Wall, Derek White, Keldon Johnson, Giannis, Şengün's here. So this is the team that gave us the 4th overall pick last year, which ultimately led us to getting Darius Garland. I was a little surprised because I don't really think too much changed with this team. Any team with Giannis on it, at least in my opinion, should not be a lottery team. It should definitely be a play-in team at a minimum, but that's just my opinion. We end up beating them in 5. We're moving on to the Indiana Pacers here in the Eastern Conference Finals. You just saw Luka won an MVP with them. Here's the rest of his squad. You got Bones Highland, RJ Barrett, Jalen Smith, Jared Allen, Draymond Green. This is a better surrounding core than what Luka currently has. I can say that. Let's go ahead and simulate through the East Finals, hopefully getting back to the finals. We're down 2-1. We're down 3-1. Oh, 2K, man. What are you doing to me here? Yeah, you got Luka versus Jokic. This is just terrible. All right, well, let's sim this. The Indiana Pacers and Luka Doncic go on to win the finals. I mean, look what happens when you give Luka a surrounding cast that's actually, competent. All right, final season we're heading into here. There's going to be some big decisions made no matter what. Draft lottery time. I don't believe we have any other picks. I didn't think we had any last year in here. When we did, we're not going to have any in here. It is the Grizzlies, the Milwaukee Bucks, the New York Knicks, the Cavaliers, and the San Antonio Spurs. Staff signing, I believe we locked up Stauffer, so we're good there. And then let's head up to the draft. Do we have our own first-round pick this year? We probably do. I don't remember trading it. We do. It's at number 29. If I'm going to include it in anything, it'll be a bigger trade. I don't think I really need to get a future first for it. Not that I probably could. So we are going to make some big decisions right now regarding potentially 1 out of 4 of these guys right here. So Zach LaVine is listed as a small forward, and again, I don't know how I'm going to like this fit of Darius Garland, James Harden, and Zach LaVine all playing in the same starting lineup. To be honest with you, I don't love it, but I think if we add a guy like Zach LaVine, who's 2 overalls higher, obviously scores the ball and can score the ball at a very high level, I liked it a little bit more than I do Michael Porter Jr. Not sitting here and saying MPJ's bad. He definitely filled the role that we needed him to, but I think here in the final year, we want to assure that we really get a really, really solid player into the starting lineup. So they want to counteroffer. They want my first-round pick this year. That's fine. We add Zach LaVine to this team. I'm excited to have him here. And ultimately, I'm a little bit nervous about the regression on James Harden. I'm hoping it doesn't come back, maybe bite us in the ass, but I just can't see a world where I'm really trading James Harden. So we obviously want to get Josh Hart. Oh, shit. Valanciunas is a free agent. How did I not realize that? Forgot about that. This game better let me pay him. If it doesn't, let me bring back. Okay, thank God it did. I was going to be really pissed. I think we also should go out and get an upgrade at our center spot. I like Jonas Valanciunas, but he's 32 now. He's going to continue regressing. And I should have pulled the trigger on the trade for Miles Turner last year, and I ultimately didn't, which I'm really regretting right now. I'm going to actually see if it's possible for me to go out and maybe just try to do that same thing right now. Try to go out and get Miles Turner here. Is it possible in any way, shape, or form? I mean, he just won a Defensive Player of the Year. I'd love to have him here. Okay, I can definitely get this to go through. How about a Sixers pick? It's the final year. It doesn't matter. Oh, shit. I actually only have one other first. Shit. If this doesn't go through, it's over. We're fucked. Oh, my God. You want Gregory Jackson? All right. That's fine. He's a backup power forward playing 10 minutes a night. I can live with it. Okay, so we obviously need to go ahead and now sign a backup center. Excuse me, a backup power forward. Wait, was Gregory Jackson a power forward or center? He was a power forward. Let's just look at some power forwards on the market. Najee Marshall, not terrible. Yuta Watanabe, if you want a three-point shooter, that would be a good signing. But I'm going to sign Najee Marshall here. We're obviously going to hopefully get Io back as well, and then that's it heading into the final year. Really banking on not too much regression from James Harden, but he's still going to be a really good player. I'll see you guys at the start of the third and final year. It is officially the third and final season for us here in DC. We made a couple other really major moves to this team in the offseason. We obviously traded Michael Porter Jr. We acquired Zach LaVine, and then we went ahead and traded Jonas Valanciunas and acquired Miles Turner. So 2 really interesting moves. I don't love changing, 40% of my starting lineup heading into the final year when I've made a finals and an Eastern Conference Finals with this respective core. So I'm a little bit nervous, especially with Harden regressing, but that's just 2K on its BS. They do it every single year. Like, I can remember all the way back to, 2K, maybe 21. Like, James Harden would regress down to, an 85, 86 overall in the final year, and then in the next 2K, he'd still be a 90, 91. It makes no sense. It's just how 2K works. It's Darius Garland, James Harden, Zach LaVine, Kristaps Porzingis, and Miles Turner. The bench unit, Gary Trent Jr., Josh Hart, Jalen Williams, Io, and Najee Marshall. This is it. This is the final year, man. I am very, very hopeful for this team. See you guys at the end of year 3. 58-24 is our final record here at the end of year 3. Luka Doncic wins his second straight MVP. He's been on a hell of a run. 2 MVPs, a championship, and a finals MVP. Isaiah Collier is your Rookie of the Year for the Memphis Grizzlies, was the first overall selection in last year's draft. Alzer Thompson, 6th Man of the Year. Chet Holmgren, Defensive Player of the Year. Eamon Thompson, Most Improved. He's up to an 83 overall. I actually had him in yesterday's video when I did the Wizards, funny enough. And Rick Carlisle, Coach of the Year. Looks like the Pacers are still really good. Let's take a look at the standings. We actually finished with the 3rd best record in the East at 58-24. You know, we have our best record yet, so I'm not going to be mad about it, but it just sucks. Like, who's in Miami? I mean, it's a good... whoa, okay, I didn't see that. Shit. Well, Miami could be a problem, along with, obviously, Indiana, who are the defending champions and beat us last year. So, I am definitely a little bit nervous right now, and... hoping it's time to get into the playoffs and just take over. We have Chicago here in round 1. Let's take a look at this Bulls team. Jordan Poole, Josh Giddey, Brandon Miller, Kelly Olynyk, Anthony Shit. What the... Oh, my God, man. What in the world are some of these teams? If we lose in the first round, I'm going to lose... 2K, don't do this to me. Thank you. Oh, my God. And Orlando ends up beating Miami for us. Wow. John Morant, DeJounte Murray, Kyle Kuzma, Santi Aldama, and the Defensive Player of the Year in Chet Holmgren. What are some of these teams, man, are just absolutely insane right now. We are up 3-0 on Orlando, though. We do end up sweeping them. We have Indiana. The defending champions, the team that beat us last year. Let's see if we can maybe cook up a little bit of revenge here. Their big 3 in Luka Doncic, RJ Barrett, and Jared Allen. I think we should be able... No, come on. Come on, battle back, battle back. Down 3-2. Don't do this to me. Let me go to the finals. We're in the finals. We're in the finals to the team we lost against year 1. Taking on Jason Tatum in the Utah Jazz. Tyus Jones, Dyson Daniels, Ed Miles Bridges, Robert Williams. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. All right, I'm nervous. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm really nervous. We're down 2-1. We're 2-2. We go, son of a bitch. I'm only hopping in if I have to in this game. If I don't have to hop in, I'm not going to. Please don't choke big leads in the finals. Don't do it. Thank you. All right, we're going to be winning this game. So we're going to Game 7 on our home floor. Can we get it done in Game 7? Can we get it done in Game 7 on our home floor? It looks like we're having a dogfight on our hands. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Why? Oh, man. Man. That's what I get for trying to lead a team with James Harden to a championship. We all know I should have been smarter than that. But nonetheless, I still think we made a pretty good team. Obviously, in these trade finder rebuild challenges, and a challenge like this specifically, I don't make nearly as many trades because I can't just dump off like random players for picks, which makes sense. But I still like our team. We built a lot, and we got to the finals twice, and the fucking Utah Jazz, man. Jason Tatum. Really be your own guys doing it to you. It's a damn shame. But as always, let me know any other rebuild challenges down below in the comment section. I enjoy doing 1 to 2 challenges a week, so if you guys want me to continue doing them, make sure to let me know down below, and do it by leaving a like on this video. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.